green living, man. This is how we do it. You know what I'm saying? This is what we love so much.
Can't get no gutter than this. Green project.
It's the green, the best project in the world. Motherfucking shop in your car.
You know what I'm saying? I kill it man, right now. I kill that bitch right now going up here. Cut on that hoe. I'll kill that hoe, man.
Now, ladies, you have to understand that this is what your boys are doing today. They are seeking surrogate role models to help them wade through the confusion of just who and what they are. They are somewhat uncertain as to who and what they are, and they want to be clear of their role in the world and in society. All of this is true unless they have a father in their life or a father figure that is clearly identified. Now let me give you another example of this same dynamic that I'm describing. Sure. The exact same thing happened once, the thing that I just described with the little white boy, after I walked out of a liquor store in South Central Los Angeles. I had bought a few items to snack on, and then I walked outside of the store. I stood there for a minute, opened my chips, and then began eating them. The two little Mexican boys, ages about 4 and 7, I would presume, watched me and then opened their own chips and began eating them. They kept looking at each other and at me and smiling as they clearly noticed that we were all eating the same kind of chips. They tried to get my attention, and they were all in my face. When we did make eye contact, they smiled. It was a simple thing that may not have appeared to mean too much. But it was a boy thing. It was a man thing. I could tell that they felt a sense of camaraderie because we were all boys and men, and we were all doing the exact same thing at the exact same time, leaning against the liquor store, eating our chips. It was a similar rite that boys or men follow later in life when they sit around with a bunch of their peers, drinking, smoking, talking about sports, women, fighting, or anything that they deem as their male rites of bonding. You may or may not notice if you take your little boy to a barbershop where he is surrounded around men, that the little boys will observe the way the men sit or stand, and oftentimes they will emulate their behavior. And this happens even more so when the boys do not have what is most critical in their life: a solid, defining male role model. In the case of my son would be less likely to emulate the behavior of any stranger that he would see at the very same age as we're discussing, the age of about 4, 5, 6, 7. That is because my son emulated me, and I did not emulate other people. My behavior, mannerisms, and poise and everything else was different than many other males that my son might see. So rather than be confused, he stuck to emulating me and not anybody else. Now, the next subchapter is called Son Beats His Head Against a Tree. I'm going to read this to you. I understand this concept so well that I proved this point once by beating my own head against a tree, only to have my son follow suit by approaching the tree